Carl, the Vegetarian Vampire by Artemis Greenleaf. Sunlight. It's the stuff of nightmares. Let me explain. My dad has always had a dream of being a real estate agent, but he works the night shift at a warehouse. Because he's a vampire, we can't go out in the sunlight, and people don't look at houses at night. We're not scary vampires. Because we're vegetarian, my best friend Alex is human. But here's the problem. Dad hates working in the warehouse. It's hot and smelly, and his cape is always getting caught in the conveyor belt. Every morning, he comes home and says he's going to quit. If he quits his job, we won't be able to buy synthetic blood, and I'll never be able to play with Alex again, because I will be a scary vampire. I can't let that happen. I read in the Bloodsucker Gazette that Dr. Theo Tomas will be at a convention here in town tomorrow night. He will be talking about his experimental sunblock that will allow us vamps to go out in the sunlight. Humans think Dr. Tomas is a mad scientist, but they just don't understand. He is a genius who invented synthetic blood. The synth, as we call it, is great. It comes in several flavors: extra iron, high cholesterol, low sugar, and regular. I've got to meet him. Mom won't let me go. But I have a plan. It's almost dawn, so I'd better get sleep. Good evening, Carl. Time to get up. I got dressed and went downstairs for breakfast. If I could just get some of that sunblock, Dad could live his dream. Then I could keep my best friend, Alex. I guzzled a bottle of extra iron synth and grabbed my backpack. I waited at the bus stop, but then I crossed the street and caught the human bus downtown. As long as I didn't open my mouth too wide, no one would notice my teeth. The conference wasn't at the big convention center, but at a seedy hotel a few blocks over. I got off the bus and walked to the hotel. There was only a surly-looking clerk up front, so it was easy for me to go straight in and sit down. I listened to two boring presentations about garlic eliminators and mahogany-proof vests. Then Dr. Tomas spoke. His chemistry slides lost me, but his speech sounded hopeful. I don't even remember the last speaker. I went to meet Dr. Tomas when it was over. Dr. Tomas! Yes? My name is Carl. I'm really interested in your new sunblock. How close are you to having it finished? Things aren't going quite as well as I had hoped. The sunblock works perfectly, but there are some side effects. I wasn't listening. I just wanted to see if he had a sample. There were some tubes laying near his papers. Is that it? I reached for one of them. Yes, but it was already too late. I had squirted some onto my arm and started to rub it in. My skin instantly turned bright orange. I told you there were some side effects. How long does this last? 7 days. He started to look around. Where are your parents? My mom's in the restroom. He raised one eyebrow. He knew I was lying. Okay, I'm here by myself. Shouldn't you be at school, Carl? Yes, but I had to come and see you. School is every day, but you're only here today. Logical, but you still shouldn't have skipped school. I'll have to call your parents. No, wait, you don't understand. It's my dad. He really wants to be a real estate agent, but no one looks at houses at night. I just thought if I could get some of your sunblock, you'd be happy. Dr. Tomas sighed and looked tired. Noble, Carl, but it just isn't ready. I don't know if it ever will be. I just can't seem to get around the staining. I've gotten orange, purple, and chartreuse, but never clear. Dr. Tomas smiled. But no buts. It will be ready if and when it's ready. Let me call your mother to come and pick you up. I was so upset I couldn't say anything. I just turned around and ran out the door. Carl, wait! I didn't stop. I had to keep moving. Otherwise, I might cry. And I'm not a baby anymore. I ran out of the hotel and down the block. The light was red and I had to wait to cross the street. A group of people came up behind me. I wasn't trying to listen in, but they were standing almost on top of me. Yeah, but they'll never be able to sell that house. Too much weird stuff happens there. Too bad we didn't see any ghosts at the restaurant. I'd like to see one, but I don't want to live with any. I don't know. It might be cool. Fine. You go shop for haunted houses then. Maybe if we see something ghostly at the warehouse, you'll change your mind. Now that gave me an idea. I got on the city bus and went to the park. I went to school just in time to catch the bus home. I knew I was in trouble when I walked in the door. Carlton Vladimir Lucrod, where have you been? My mother hugged me very hard, then held me at arm's length. You had us worried half to life. Your school called and asked where you were. Your father has been looking for you for hours. Mom, Just then, my dad walked through the door. His head was down and his shoulders were slumped. He didn't see me. Sorry, Lucy. No luck. Dad, I'm here. He looked up at me and gasped as a huge smile cracked his lips. Then he got stern. Carlton, you're grounded. What in the underworld possessed you to skip school today? I told my parents about the convention and meeting Dr. Tomas, and I showed him the big orange blotch on my arm. My dad laughed, but my mom just rolled her eyes. But that's not the best part. Dad, you know how you're always wanting to get into real estate? It was about a week later when my dad showed me his new sign. Alex was coming over, and I couldn't wait for him to see it too. What do you think of the sign, Carl? Ghost tour starts here. It looks great, Dad. Evenings before he went to work, Dad started walking around downtown. He made friends with a lot of the ghosts in the area. Some are angry, a few are happy, but most are sad and lonely. They were glad to help out because it gave them something to do. Tonight was the first night of Dad's weekend ghost tours. The ghosts had agreed to pop in and scare the pants off the humans. Dad also started taking a real estate course. Haunted houses are what he calls a niche market, whatever that means. But he thinks he might be able to quit his warehouse job after a while. I've never seen him so happy. Thanks, Carl. Really, thank you. You're a pretty good kid, you know. I do my best. Thanks for listening to Carl, the Vegetarian Vampire by Artemis Greenleaf.